Hey everyone, welcome back to PrimeBlock Capital. Bitcoin's broken $94,000 today and is looking very bullish. But what if I told you one of the biggest signals for where we're heading next is actually coming out of China? Today, we're diving into what might be the most important macro signal of Q2 for 2025, and that's China's M2 money supply. So let's get into it. Right, so I just brought this on screen for you guys. China's $44.89 trillion M2 money supply has just pushed its money supply to 326 trillion yuan. Now that's approximately $44.89 trillion. Now, to put that into context, the US M2 is sitting around 21.67 trillion. So we're talking under half with the US. Now, this is significant. Historically, when China has aggressively increased its liquidity, as we saw in 2016, we also saw in 2020, it tends to kick off a chain of very aggressive growth overall in the entire money supply. So global central banks tend to often follow asset prices across the board, typically soar. Now, why does this matter for Bitcoin and risk assets? Very easy to explain. The US Fed and the European Central Bank haven't jumped in yet. But if they do, it could signal a synchronized global liquidity cycle. Now, this is massive, and that would create the perfect environment for risk on assets. So equities, commodities, and especially crypto would likely surge. And Bitcoin, as a high beta asset, stands to benefit the most. So you can see on this chart, comparing China and US M2 expansion since 2015, you can clearly see how prior expansions lined up with crypto market rallies. So this is something that I really believe is already in play and is only going to continue to aggressively grow. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is Trump tariffs, interest rates, and global signals. Now, they're all factoring in. So Trump's proposed tariffs, he's kind of cooled down a little bit. The US inflation's still hovering above target. And obviously, Fed officials are taking a cautious tone, but are leaning towards something a little bit more dovish. Now, that's huge because we already know that when interest rates get cut, we tend to see a massive surge in risk on assets. So we've seen really good growth with Bitcoin over the last few days. And it's pretty easy to see that the markets are paying very close attention. The moment the Fed pivots or signals easing alongside China's moves, we could be at the start of a massive global liquidity wave. So, few things that you want to keep an eye out for. So what to watch, portfolio positioning, and what you should be watching now. Obviously, Bitcoin. So we're going to move on and take a look at that now. Right, so this is the chart that I was showing you guys in the last video. And what you can see here, as I'd explained before, is this downward trend line. We've finally broken out. We had been tittering around for a while, and then suddenly we've had this explosive rally. We've already broken through the resistance entirely, and now we're coming back to test it. Just like you see in any situation where you have resistance that is broken through and then retested and flipped to support. So what I expect to see here is Bitcoin to find some form of support around that 92,350 range and then start to build and continue its way back up, which obviously is very bullish. And if we look here, we've seen really good volume coming in, and the RSIs, although it's starting to very slowly taper back down because we are now testing this resistance that we want to flip into support, we've still got that nice trending upward trajectory. Okay, and now I want to show you guys some of the altcoin market, what's been performing well and has seen a lot of growth. We're now starting to see a nice little surge in the altcoins. They've woken up. In my last video, I was starting to show you guys some of the performances of certain coins that I felt were doing extremely well. And there are now others to add to the party, as well as ones that were previously doing well, continuing to show strength. So I'm going to go into that now. Okay, so you can see here the global crypto market is at $2.94 trillion. We've had an increase in the last 24 hours of 5.92%. And star at the moment is definitely SUI, which has seen a 21% rise on the 24-hour. Okay, and if we have a look here, Ethereum finally showing that it can have some form of movement. So we can see here on the 7-day, it's up nearly 12%. XRP is also starting to get a little bit of movement. It's up 2.2% for the day and up 6.38% for the week. And other standout ones for me are Solana, up 17.5% on the 7-day, moving very nicely. Dogecoin's up nearly 15% for the week, Cardano 14% for the week, and Chainlink, one of the ones that I shared in our WhatsApp crypto hub, is doing fantastic. It's up 20% for the week as well. And Avalanche, another one that was shared in our crypto hub, which is a fantastic gaming coin to keep an eye out for, is up 16.7%. But without question, SUI at the moment, which is a fantastic blockchain, is absolutely killing it. It's up nearly 40% on the 7-day. And this is early days, guys. Don't forget, you know, if you have a look at the altcoin season chart just here, okay, it's scoring 14 out of 100. It's still very much about Bitcoin. And it just gives you some insight into the type of movements that you're likely to see in altcoins when we start coming over to the altcoin season side of things. So imagine what this will look like when we're over at the altcoin section at maybe 85, 90. You're going to see unbelievable moves in these different altcoins. Other thing to note as well is the fear and greed index. We're at 52 and neutral. Now that's a really good thing. We're not in extreme fear and everyone's scared, and we're also not overly in greed where it could potentially top out. We're in that beautiful mid zone, and we're definitely coming out of a major correction and starting to get some momentum to go to the upside. So this is a time to stay informed, stay nimble. And of course, if you found this valuable, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. And don't forget to join our free PrimeBlock Capital crypto hub on WhatsApp for daily charts, setups, macro briefings like this, and lots more. See you in the next video and stay sharp out there, guys.